He was actually one of the biggest reasons why I started drawing. So I thought that was pretty interesting, like how I was like, immediately I thought of the show when like I heard that he did that. I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, I guess he really did live his what he projected onto his character. So that's pretty awesome, man. In this anime, Yugi is a little bit more of a shy, more of a klutz, more incompetent, and then the evil spirit that lives within that Yugi in that series is somewhat unrelenting. I'm sure by now you guys have already heard the news who this guy is. His name is Kazuki Takahashi, and Takahashi-sama is the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, which is why you see Yugi here, or Yami Yugi, or a Tem. He's the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, so it's quite unfortunate that, you know, this ended up happening. I think it happened about like 2 weeks ago or a month ago. I don't know how long ago, but he ended up passing, and it's quite unfortunate. And I'm sure by now you guys already know, because everybody's already been talking about it. Moist Critical, Philip DeFranco, I'm sure other channels as well have been talking about it. But if you guys don't know who he is, again, creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, and unfortunately he passed because he was saving a mother and a daughter, as well as one other person who is currently unidentified. I don't know who that other person is, and it took one day to identify this person, who happened to be Takahashi-sama, floating by the shore of the waters, the ocean, and he was spotted by a boat. So it's quite unfortunate how he ended up going out, but I mean, he died a hero to he died a hero to 3 people, so that's crazy. Or if you consider him a hero based off of what he did, then I guess 4 people now. So again, it sucks. And the reason why I have so much respect for him is because he impacted almost everything I do in terms of like drawing, illustration, because he was actually one of the biggest reasons why I started drawing. Now what's crazy is that when I heard the story about how he ended up saving 3 people from a riptide, I don't know why, but I got the impression that like he was living what he always kind of projected onto his characters. Because when I heard that he did that, for some reason, I don't know why, but I imagined, you know, Yuma, Yusei, Yusako doing that, which are protagonists in his franchise, in his Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. And I'm about to show you guys right now who they are. Who are these people right here? So this is Yusaku, this is Yuma, and then Yusei. I feel like he kind of like that act of heroism. That act of heroism would have been like done by these 3 characters, because they were very selfless, and you know, they were always there for like their friends and other people they cared about. So I thought that was pretty interesting, like how I was like, immediately I thought of the show when like I heard that he did that. I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, I guess he really did live his what he projected onto his character. So that's pretty awesome, man. So very inspiring. And of course, let me give you guys a couple of facts. Like, you know, like he ended up being inspired by American comics. I think he was a big fan. I'm not sure, okay, but I think he was a big fan of the Hellboy series. I'm not too sure. I remember reading something like that, but I don't know. But he was always inspired by American comics, and that's kind of what like also propelled his inspiration to draw. But I think it started when he said that he was a kid, and then like he saw some old man pulling out some cards or some paper, and it had drawings on them, and he thought that like the old man was the one drawing those characters. He did them by himself, which made him want to draw his own characters, which now, as you can see, we have about 6 of them here. So he stuck with that, and he ended up with an entire franchise in a successful trading card game. So brilliant. One of the biggest reasons why he created why he kept going with the game, because believe it or not, this was never meant to be a trading card game. He ended up creating a manga, a Yu-Gi-Oh manga, and then it got made into a series, which, by the way, there's this thing called Yu-Gi-Oh Season 0, which never aired in America. So you guys probably don't know about it, but in this anime, Yugi is a little bit more of a shy, more of a klutz, more incompetent, and then the evil spirit that lives within that Yugi in that series is somewhat unrelenting. I wouldn't say that he's evil, but he's quite unrelenting, because people, whenever his friends are being targeted by bullies or whatever the case is, he tends to want to teach that culprit a lesson. And usually they'll play in a Yami game, which is a Yamino game, which is a dark game, Shadow Realm game. And then like they will end up dueling, not using card monsters, but by like playing games like poker, dice rolls. It's not like super gory or whatever the case is, but it's pretty cool and it's very captivating. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It's very compelling stuff. And so like in that whole series, going back to what I was going to tell you, there were these games that he was playing, right? He will always like to play poker, shogi, or whatever the case is. And then the card game happened to be a part of that anime and the manga too as well. And then people started realizing it, and they started looking at the manga and started wondering what that card game was. Obviously it wasn't invented. And then there was people who were mailing him, telling him to make the game, to make the card game. And so he kind of just made a rudimentary card game, and then it progressed into something a lot bigger, which is now the Yu-Gi-Oh trading card game. So that's kind of how it started. Pretty interesting. But he was always into like, you know, board games like shogi, what again, which by the way, shogi apparently is a lot more difficult than chess. Chess has about like which I can show you right now. Let me see, I got stuff here that I wanted to share with you guys. So that's the shogi board right there, which in chess, if we take a look at the chess board here, it goes from 1 to 8, or A to H, which are the labels that are assigned to each square on the board. Here in shogi, it goes all the way up to 9, and then from A to I. Now the way you play, I don't know how to play shogi, but from what I've heard is that whenever you capture a piece, instead of putting it aside like you do in chess, in shogi, what you would do is it would end up going to your side. So now that piece will end up working for you if you capture it. So that's pretty interesting. I didn't know that shogi was kind of like that, which I can kind of see why people would say it's a lot more difficult, because it seems like, you know, the more pieces you lose, the more cornered you are. But again, there's always going to be an advantage or disadvantage depending on who goes first. At least that's what it looks like. I'm not sure, but yeah, it's pretty interesting stuff. And then you know, there was a lot of Takahashi art as well, which here it is right here, like that. These are some of his art pieces right there. He has a book as well. There's a lot of beautiful art pieces. This is one of Yuma from the 4th spin-off. Pretty interesting. Then My Valentine, I'm sure you guys remember who this is from the first series, Duel Monsters. I really like how he always has this like ability to like kind of close the illustration and just kind of like leave a piece of it kind of like lingering, you know. It kind of like just confines itself, which I really like. That, and you can see a lot of that stuff in his art as well. I do have a piece here that also illustrates that perfectly. Where is it at? I don't remember where it's at. I don't know where it's at, but nonetheless, yeah, he always has like this way of just kind of closing it in. And then this is just kind of like a quick drawing of Yugi. I don't know how long it took him to do that, but it's pretty incredible how he's able to do that kind of stuff. So yeah, those are the art pieces. And then dude, like you know, his art was like super iconic. I really like how he would do the eyes and everything. And so like this is kind of where the inspiration comes from. You know, like I'm really inspired by the kind of art he does, because the kind of art that he does, the way his eyes are right here, now the thing is that when you're doing art yourself, you tend to like take stuff from other people, and if you like it, you tend to use it for yourself. And of course, as you progress, you kind of like have it evolve. And so right here on the screen, I'm gonna show you guys some of the art pieces I've done, and then some of the characters that you're seeing on the screen were actually created or actually a part of the franchise, the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise, which is here we have, you know, Astro from Zell, we have Mr. Heartland from Zell as well, and then we also have Vector from Zell as well. As you guys can see, Zell, the 4th spin-off, was quite an inspiration for me. Again, this is Yuma, and he's from the Zell franchise. I really love that, and I highly recommend it for anybody who's like still into like Yu-Gi-Oh, wants to see more Yu-Gi-Oh content. Like, highly recommend the fourth one. I really love how everybody's just so dynamic, it's so colorful, everything is just so beautiful. It takes place in a heartland city, and it's supposed to be like this utopia with like super advanced technology. And when you watch the show, it's just super colorful. Like, I'm a sucker for that kind of stuff, really colorful stuff. And I'm also a big fan of the mangas as well, which the art style is just really like incredibly, at least for me, it's incredibly well articulated. As you can see here, this is an image of Kotori, which is a character from, again, the Zell franchise, or the fourth spin-off of the Yu-Gi-Oh franchise. And I just really like how it's really well drawn. Some of the artists that are working on it is now Hito, and then the other one, I don't remember what the other artist's name is, but they created this manga with the help of course, Kazuki Takahashi. And again, this is just another art piece from the manga. As you can see, it's very beautifully illustrated. The line work is just incredible. I really love it. Kotori's pose and her expression is just very, very well articulated. I really love that stuff. So that's the stuff. And then I also want to say that if you guys think that like I'm plagiarizing his work or whatever the case is, because I'm taking as ideas, this is also a character from Zell whose name is Quattro, or Thomas Arclight. And I don't know if he ended up taking the idea from this show called Star Driver. As you can see, they both look very much alike. I don't know who ended up taking this. I don't know if this is even Takahashi's idea, but it definitely came out in the Zell franchise, which is again the fourth spin-off. So it's pretty awesome stuff, so rest in peace, you know, Takahashi-sama. I really do appreciate everything you did for me, well, not just for me but for others as well, you know, giving us our childhood and just giving us our inspiration of the day, you know. So yeah, just kind of want to end it with that, guys. Thank you guys for watching.